안녕하세요 여러분, 저는 Jenny예요. Hello everyone, my name is Jenny, and today we're going to be talking about 으세요. Now you've already learned one form of this grammar, which is used to make a polite request or a command. But there's also another meaning, and that's when you're using it to express your respect toward the subject of the sentence, which will be a person. These two different uses are not distinguished in the form of the verb, so that means if you hear this in conversation, you're going to have to use context to figure out which meaning is being inferred there. The subject of the sentence must be the listener, the person that you're talking to, or a third person who you want to show respect towards, like your grandparents, your parents, your teacher. It will not be when you're talking about yourself or an inanimate object, because you don't need to show respect toward yourself or an inanimate object. It can be used to ask questions. So if I ask, 선생님, 지금 학교에 가세요? I'm asking, teacher, are you going to school right now? Like the first form that you used, 으세요, in this second meaning, is used with verbs and adjectives. So if the stem ends in a consonant, you use 해요. If it ends in a vowel, if it ends in a vowel, use 해요. If it ends in a consonant, use 으세요. So if that becomes 읽으세요, 가다, 가세요, 친절하다, to be kind, 친절하세요. So if you interpret these words in the first way as a command, you'll interpret it as please read, please go, please be nice. But if you interpret it in the second way, well, you need to include a subject here. So let's say you're talking about your teacher. 선생님, 읽으세요. Teacher is reading. Teacher is going. Teacher is kind. This is why you need to rely on context to understand what meaning is being inferred there. Someone's either asking you to do something, or they're being respectful toward a person who is the subject in their sentence. In addition to all of this, you're going to need to learn some more words. So there are actually polite versions of words that you already know. So like 먹다 actually has a more polite version, 드시다. So when you're using this form to show respect, you'll want to use these more respectful versions of words as well. So 먹다 and also 마시다 both use the same polite version of the word. So 드시다, conjugated as 드세요, means eat or drink. There's another way of saying 먹다, which is 잡수시다, 잡수세요, but that's not as commonly used. 자다, to sleep, becomes 주무시다, 주무세요. 어머니 주무세요, mother is sleeping. 말하다, to speak, becomes 말씀하시다, 말씀하세요. This I will elaborate a little bit more on slide 4. 있다 and 없다, depending on when they're used. If you're using it to say that a person is in an area, you will say 계시다, 계세요. Or 안 계시다, 안 계세요. Is in a place, is not in a place. Once again, you do not use this form when you're talking about yourself. So if you're in a conversation with someone and they're being respectful towards you and using this polite form, when you respond, you want to make sure that you do not use the polite form in your response if you're talking about yourself. So if Mina asks, 문찬트님, 안녕하세요. 문찬트님, hello. 지금 어디에 가세요? Where are you going right now? 문찬트님 responds, 교실에 가요. 문찬트님 responds with not the same form, because they're talking about themselves. They don't need to show respect toward themselves, so they respond with just 가요 versus 가세요. But Mina is still talking about their teacher, her teacher, so she needs to be polite. 교실에서 뭐 하세요? What are you doing in the classroom? 수학 수업을 가르쳐요. I teach a math class. So when you're practicing this and you're speaking with people, remember to make sure you don't use this form when you're talking about yourself in responses to questions, but if you're asking the questions and trying to be polite, then you do use it. 우리 어머니가 거실에 계세요. Mother is in the living room. 아버지, 약을 드셨어요? This is the past tense form of 드세요. Father, did you eat your medicine? Did you take your medicine? 많이 추우세요? Are you really cold? Are you very cold? 우리 아버지가 친절하세요. Father is kind. This elaborates a little bit more on the 있다 없다 situation. When the subject of the sentence is an object or thing related to the respected person, but is not the person themselves, you can use 있으세요 or 없으세요. This is when you are indicating possession. So if you're saying that your grandfather is in a place, you'll use 계세요. But if you're using 있다 in the sense that your grandfather owns something, like a nice watch, you can use 있으세요. And this expresses respect for the owner of the item or the concept that they possess. So you're still showing respect. So 할머니, 내일 오후에 시간이 있으세요? Grandmother, do you have time tomorrow? The subject is indicated by the subject marker is time, but the person that possesses that time is your grandmother, who you want to show respect towards. 할머니는 분홍색 옷이 없으세요? 분홍색, pink. 옷 is clothes. Does not have. Grandma does not have any pink colored clothes. 거짓말. I see pink clothes in that closet. 앉다, to sit. If you are sitting on the bus and you want to be polite and offer an older person your seat on the bus, you can say 여기 앉으세요. Sit here. 힘들다, to be difficult. 안 힘드세요? Isn't it difficult? 힘들지 않으세요? 힘들지 않으세요? Means the same thing. These two have the same meaning. Past tense. So remember, 있다, 없다. Two different meanings. I only have 있다 here included, but you can say 계셨어요 or 있으셨어요, which sounds a little bit difficult to pronounce. These are the regular forms to compare to the forms that you'll be using with the polite forms. So, 가셨어요, 드셨어요, 들으셨어요, 오셨어요, 산책하셨어요, 좋아하셨어요. I think past tense is a little bit easier. 어제 할머니는 바쁘셨어요. Yesterday, grandma was busy. 아침에, in the morning, 공원에서 운동하셨어요. She exercised in the garden. 그 다음에, after that, 병원에 가셨어요. She went to the hospital. 진료 예약을 있으셨어요. 진료 예약 is checkup, health inspection. 있으셨어요. We use this form because it is not the person you're showing respect for, your grandmother, is not the subject of the sentence, it's rather something that she had. So in this case, we can use 있으셨어요. 마지막에, finally, 슈퍼마켓에 가셨어요. She went to the supermarket. That is it for this lesson. 잘했어요. 다음에 봐요. See you later.